Food Odyssey with Genevieve Jacobs on 666 ABC Canberra.
Yeah, the smashing of plates, the crackling, the popping and the sizzling of food cooking. And in fact, we're actually just going to change tack a little bit here on 666 Mornings with that regular look at food we have every fortnight. Inspired by the really wonderful lunch I had recently with Antonio Carluccio. And I went out to Braidwood as part of the Truffle Festival, and look for more words and pictures on that soon. But it's made us think about individual personalities, people whose whole mission in life, and that much underrated word passion, is connected to food. So over the next few months, we're going to meet the food warriors, and starting today with someone whose social media impact on this is, well, probably bigger than 666's, in fact. Anna Johnston is with me. She has 12,000 followers for her Twitter feed, and her blog, shenANNAgans, think about that, the A-N-N-A in the middle of it, is incredibly popular as well. She loves her food. And Anna, great to have you with me. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Now, besides being a social media foodie superstar, what do you actually do? Because this isn't the real career, is it?
So, no, it's not. These days I'm the event manager at the National Press Club, so I'm privy to some pretty spectacular events, and I mean, the chefs that I work with just serve me up the most incredible food. I really should be the size of a house.
But you're not.
I'm not.
Let the record show she's not. But you actually trained as a chef, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So I spent 10 years in the kitchen. I worked all over the world and, really perfected the art. And I love food. I love food.
Where did the interest in food actually start? Were you one of those kids who was constantly jamming things into your mouth and experimenting?
No, I really wasn't.
See, I think this is actually really true about lots of people. I was the kind of kid who would turn my nose up at cauliflower and Brussels sprouts.
Absolutely. Brussels sprouts, I used to chew them up and shove them behind my dad's couch. So I'm sure you can imagine that went down very well. I still feel that they belong there, actually.
Now, I have come to a real love of the Brassica family. It's worked for me, but I look at my daughter, who at one stage we referred to as a sausagetarian, and refusal to eat anything other than sausages, and I think there is hope. But so when did you really get interested in food?
So it was actually a competition that I just saw the prize, which was a $1,000 scholarship to be used at the CIT in the city. That's all I saw. I just saw the prize. It was a cooking competition. Didn't really think it through too well. So when I came home and I said to my mum, I'm going to enter this competition, Mum sort of sniggered because she knew my food, my love for food was,
shallow,
pretty minimal, yeah. So she handed me over a pile of cookbooks and went to bed kind of laughing. And I came up with a recipe and went to the CIT, did the competition, and I won it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that was kind of how I became a chef.
And did you develop interest in particular foods and particular cuisines? Was there a focus in your cooking?
A little bit. I really enjoy the fresh sort of flavours of Asia, so I guess it was a solid mix of Australasian kind of cuisine.
Fusion cooking.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Anna, why not be a chef then? Why move into event management? If this is the big passion of your life, and that's where the social media goes, which we'll talk about in a moment, why make that transition?
I always felt like I was missing out. I was kind of, like a meerkat peering over the past at the kids at front of house, and I thought, I really want to do that. I'm a planner. I love organisation, and it just seemed like a natural progression to kind of move front of house and kind of expand. I love the hospitality industry, and it kind of went hand in hand, being a chef and then moving into events and planning.
And then where does the social media come into this? Because I'm getting from what you're saying that this whole idea of interaction and planning and organisation is actually quite a good fit with social media.
Absolutely.
But when did you start exploring that?
So I had a very, very popular food blog that I unfortunately lost a lot of content. So I guess I was just right place, right time, and social media was kind of just sort of kicking off, and I just landed on my feet, and I have a real passion for connecting with people and hearing their stories. That's why I'm a blogger. I'm sort of better being behind the scenes and interviewing rather than being where I am right now. So I guess I was just really, really lucky, and when I kicked off shenANNAgans, it was all my old followers, they just started following me again and joining in on my journey. And I guess it was broader because I was doing events and working with some pretty crazy cool people. And yeah, so...
And it is just huge. And I looked at it and I thought, let me try and unpack what it is about this Twitter feed and the blog space that makes this really successful, because you've got 12,000 followers.
Yeah.
You're really snappy with the hashtags on Twitter. It feels sort of funky and fast-paced, but what do you think is making that work? Why are people connecting with you over food via social media?
I think because I make it approachable, I make it fun, and I'm honest. I put a picture up of a Brussels sprout, my first Brussels sprout in 25 years, and I was honest about the fact that I still don't enjoy them. And I think it's just letting people know that it's okay to, try it, sure, but just make it fun and, yeah.
Well, unsurprisingly with all of this, the retweeting is going mad with your Canberra followers who are all listening in and saying,
Thanks,
we're
guys.
listening, it's all okay, don't be nervous, it's all good. So what's the focus for the food that you want to write about? And you talked about making it sort of fun and easy and straightforward. So what sort of food do you look at online?
Well, I've as I mentioned, my old blog was very, very food focused, and being a chef by trade, I guess I kind of understand food and how it's supposed to taste and look and be prepared. But these days, I guess I just pick foods that I find delicious and I can make a story out of it.
And that can be bacon and eggs and fried mushrooms.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I wonder about that, Anna, because I think people can often take themselves really seriously about all this food interaction.
They really do, yeah.
Yeah, and with all this earnest, deeply felt analysis of the mouthfeel and the rare ingredients. And that's kind of not what you're on about at all.
Not at all. Like I said, I think keep it simple, make it approachable. Food should be enjoyed. It's pretty. It doesn't need to be hardcore. It doesn't need to be so over the top explanation that no one knows what they're actually eating. Just use basic ingredients and you can create some awesome food.
I think maybe that's where people connect with you, because they think, okay, this isn't about some sort of escoffier French method. It's about something I can do.
Yeah.
So what makes the difference between a good blog and a bad one, or a good Twitter feed and a bad one? Why do so many people who venture into this sort of dire, lonely, commentless death?
I think when it comes to social media, you try to keep it relevant. Don't spam your followers. Don't constantly update about the things that are happening. I think people find that annoying. Well, I would find that annoying if people are constantly hounding me with their stuff. When it comes to blogging, I think keep the posts smaller so people can just dedicate their 5-10 minutes a day or a week to you, and they don't have to spend an hour kind of scrolling through, reading. So kind of keep it short, snappy and witty.
Tell me what you think is really pulsing in Canberra in the food scene at the moment. How would you describe what's really got energy about it?
I think I'm a little bit spoilt. At my workplace, I just am served some of the most incredible food. So, to be honest, as a foodie, I'm probably not the best person to ask about where's the best place to be at the moment.
But there's a lot of emphasis on local ingredients. We've talked about that a lot on the radio, and I think we're very well placed here to source food because farmland growers and producers are just there.
Just there, they are.
Down the road.
Yeah. So we do have access to amazing ingredients, which is really awesome. We've got everything just there.
What's your own favourite recipe? What do you love to cook yourself?
I don't really cook much these days.
Oh, Anna, how can that be the case? Well, look, if you want to check out what Anna's on about, shenANNAgans.com is the blog spot. So shenANNAgans, shenANNAgans.com. You'll also find out a bit about beer on Anna's blog spot. Well, Jesus juices you refer to.
I do.
No,
I do.
tell me about the beer, Anna. Why the love for it?
There's actually a picture which I'll be posting in the coming months of me as a wee nipper holding a VB bottle. So I don't know if it started way back then as a country kid, but I enjoy it. It's kind of like the essence of Australia.
The essence of Australia, and that's it. We've got 12,000 Twitter followers and a beer-loving Canberran at the middle of it all. Anna, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in and being our first food warrior. It's lovely.
Thank you.
Anna Johnston, who's got 12,000 Twitter followers. You can also find her online at shenANNAgans.com, and you'll see the link there to her Twitter feed. But it's pretty fascinating stuff. And look at it and perhaps consider yourself why this kind of energy is so exciting at the moment here in Canberra. You're on 666. This is Vampire Weekend.